working through the CumulusCI trail. We've gone modules 1, 2, and we're now in module 3, just finishing it. So module 3.3, and this is the B version because we've already done some of the GitHub work, and now we're going to be collaborating on pull requests. And this is helpful to kind of work through, especially down here with the QA. But what I found is that it's important to go down, and there's the command here is how to delete a scratch org. And if you ever need it, you can always go out to the cheat sheet as well. And there's some great stuff around how to kind of manage all these different orgs that you're building. But if we look out, and if we're going to get here by going repository, we just need to make sure that we're in the I'm in the test. So what I'm doing is looking at specifically QA on this branch. So I'm going to do repository, and I'm going to do open in Visual Studio. And then when it comes down, what I did was to run, first thing was this scratch delete. And it turned out there really was an org that was out there that I had to delete, so it was good to actually do that. And then now I'm basically here. And then what I'm able to do is to, this is just going back up in the instructions, I'm going to do this, which is to run the CCI flow and bring up a QA org. So I'm going to copy that, and then I'm going to go back over to my VS, and I'm going to enter it here and say let's run that. Let's see what it does. And it says it's refreshing. So it took a minute and 34 seconds to build this, and let me just stretch this up just so we can see it. And again, lots of good steps, but it seems to have been successful. And so now what we can do is to run the next command, and going back out here, we're going to run the CCI browser QA. And I guess it saw a slash, so we didn't want to see that, so I'm going to try it again. And we were successful in opening up a new QA org. And so if we go to sales here, just to see what that's going to look like, the great news is we have a deliveries tab. So we're able to go there. If we go to deliveries, yeah, recently viewed does come up, which is interesting. And so we can then look at this and say, yes, we probably do have related. So that means there's something here. So good news is this seems to be intact and working. So I'm going to close this because I can only imagine the contention if the window is still open. Then we're going to go back, and we've done that and we've tested it. So now we're able to kind of merge the changes into the main branch. So I'm returning to GitHub in the cloud and just going to it. This is kind of my top level. I've got 3 repositories, and I'm going to go to the food bank here, and then I'm going to see, okay, I've got a pull request here. So I'm going to take a look at my pull request, and I can select my Add Deliveries tab, and dragging down, I'm in the Conversations tab, which is what they mention, and we're going to go down to the Merge Pull Request. So that's going to be a scroll down to there it is, the merge pull request. And again, there has no conflicts. That's a good news. No continue. Okay, so we're going to merge the pull request, and then we're going to confirm it. And then we're going to delete this branch because we no longer need this branch because we've merged those changes into the main branch. So I'm going to delete it here. And I can also restore, which is interesting. But then what I'm going to do is to go back to my desktop, and I'm going to say, okay, I've got a current branch here. I want to branch delete, and you want to delete it, and I say, yes, I do. So I'm going to click delete because I'm in the right current branch, right? You always want to make sure we're not deleting anything else that we shouldn't be. Delete. Brings us back to the current main branch. select repository pull. And that does a fetch, and it brings it all down. And then we want to go back to repository, Open Studio, go back here, and then what we're able to do is that same way now, is we can now delete off these, first the dev org, and then we will, so scratch org is never created, so or at least we had deleted it on a past stage, then we're going to do that. Now we're going to delete the QA, and it did delete. So we're all set, and we finished this, and now we can move on to the next module.